Okay, now we're going to start off with contact report 19. Now, my last contact report I did, number 18, I ended up saying that at the end I mentioned it was contact 19. It really wasn't. It was 18. That's my bad. So this is actual contact report 19. Translators were Deep L Translator. Corrections and improvements made by Joseph Darman and Catherine Mossman. The contact person was Semjase. And this is a thought transmission contact as opposed to face-to-face. Okay, this is the 19th contact, Friday, 16 May 1975 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Semjase, it was an easy undertaking for me to live up to your wish in reference to the person of F. Oberly in W. During longer hours, I have occupied myself with him and have penetrated him as far as this was necessary. This was without any major difficulties, as the person had no directed defenses to use. Against better knowledge, however, this person claims to be able to use defensive powers as well as, e.g., different powers of other forms, which are based in the pure spiritual realm. F.O. is able to apply minimal hypnotic abilities, but this already includes all his skills and analysis of abilities. In this respect, however, he likes to see himself decidedly greater than he really is. He believes himself to be a spiritually and consciously advanced human being, although he consciously deceives himself with it. Mad, semi-religious beliefs and delusions imprison him in an extraordinarily strong material intellectual thinking from which he is unable to free himself. His evolutionary-based stage of development lies in the average of the normal average Earth human being, which I have already mentioned earlier with 2/6. So we're in the second major group, and the sixth subgroup of that is where she puts the average Earth human being, as well as this guy. Thus, in terms of consciousness-based and spiritual qualities, he is still far away from the point where he approaches within sight of the borderline between material intellectual and spiritual intellectual thinking. All his senses are trapped in semi-religious and delusional pathways that dominate him in consciousness-based enslavement. In unknowledge of the truth of the Spirit and of the creation, his thought processes of a material intellectual nature are dissipated in the dominating potencies over him, that is, in God assumptions and thus in faith assumptions. Like light and inconspicuous flashes of lightning, here and there flashes of thoughts finger their way forward into the third main stage, but they are neither able to hold themselves there nor to draw any knowledge or cognitions to themselves. So he's kind of jumping between the second main stage into the third main stage for just, briefly, but he can't stay there. This happens with him only for reasons of hearsay, but not out of his own cognitive initiative. His consciousness is very easily confused, and indeed without the need for any application of force. He lacks the most minimal cognitions of spiritual intellectual thinking, types of thinking, whereby he does not even allow him to explain the powers of his minimal capability to hypnotize. Out of his whole consciousness-based wise of thinking, he lives in an excessive assumption of faith, which makes him, moreover, very arrogant. I have already mentioned that he tends, against his better knowledge, to claim things and capabilities of which he is neither master nor able to comprehend. His his absolutely only recognizable capability is that of minimal hypnosis, with which, however, his recognized and evaluable abilities are already exhausted by him, whereby he is not even able to analyze and explain that of hypnosis. His knowledge, which is displayed in a puffed up manner, and in truth embodies only assumptions of faith, does not originate from his very own work of thought or from any knowledge, but rather from unreal traditions, assertions, and unreal literary works. Therefore, if he has found neither truth nor knowledge, nor cognition or skill, he will try to make up for it by assertions and by a desire to know better, for example, by simply doing certain things to avert or to find out about certain things. But the use of such abilities in recognition of knowledge and truth is completely absent from him, and he must be content with the minimal use of his hypnotic capability, which does not even allow him to penetrate the mental consciousness form of a fellow human being. Billy, you are once again speaking very harsh words, Semjase, whereby I must inevitably think of some things that led to differences some time ago. Semjase, you know very well that the truth always sounds hard, and that I have made certain mistakes, because that is what you are alluding to. I can assure you, however, that I have corrected the errors I have become aware of, and will not commit them again. But you know that very well. So why do you remind me of that? Billy, I just wanted to make sure everything was right. It should in no wise be a reproach or the like. Semjase, I understand, and I have no other things to tell you at the moment. And that's it. Like 7 minutes of contact report 19. It was a telepathic contact. Okay, we'll see. This was 19. We'll see you on 20.